Hello and welcome to another spooky Halloween season vlog. Happy October. It is officially the best time of the year. I have one errand to run today on my day off. I don't typically have Fridays off from work, but we have a 3-day weekend, so I'm not going to question it. I officially transferred all of my stuff into my Halloween bag for the season. I'm all ready to go, so let's head on out. Oof. It is hot. I saw discounted Halloween. I also saw Christmas. That is very wild to me. I wonder if there are people who are keeping up with Christmas in the same way that people do Halloween. I'm obviously very clued into the Halloween fanatics with all of like our Code Orange videos. I wonder if there's like a code red, a code green, I don't know what they call it, but maybe there's like a little world, a little community on YouTube that is just as obsessed with Christmas as we are with Halloween. Does that exist? Let me know if that's actually a thing. Before we get ahead of ourselves seasonally, we're still in Halloween mode over here. The first thing I needed and grabbed was going to be this little chain garland that's super, super fall. I know exactly where I want to put this. I want to put it above my desk area where I have like these cabinets. I have a cute little happy Halloween sign with some ghosties dancing about, trying to scare us, and I thought this would be a really nice touch. I've been wanting one of these forever, and I think it's like super versatile. The next thing that was on my list was to get this very specific diamond painting craft. When I was decorating my desk area, I noticed that I didn't really have anything that I wanted to put on my wall in a very specific shape and size that would really fit the theme of what I had going on there with all of my decor pieces. It's very like Corpse Bride, very like blue, purple, really campy, but also just like a spooky vibe that wasn't red or orange. Like it's a corner that is very subdued in that area. So I saw online that Michael's had this specific diamond painting kit. I was kind of in the middle of this one or this haunted house one, but I feel like I decided to go with something a little bit more simple. And I just really love spiders. So I think this will be really fun. I'm going to crack this open this weekend while I'm listening to my audiobooks. The other thing on my list I needed to purchase from Michael's, and it's just awesome that there was just so many discounts everywhere for all of this Halloween and fall stuff, is some items for the boo baskets I'm making for my mother and my little baby nephew, who's actually not a baby. He's like in 2nd grade, but in my head, he's my little baby. So I already have a few things for him, but I did want to get him more crafts than candy because for one, he loves crafts. For two, I think it's really fun to make memories based off of doing activities and having experiences versus just only candy, and just, for health reasons too. I think it's a fun little thing to give my sister too. It's kind of like her way of having him be a little bit more preoccupied and a way for them to connect together. So I think that's a gift that serves both of them. And I did pick up some ribbon too that was like discounted 50% off. These are freaking adorable. I love me some bats, candy corns, and just like in your face Halloween. And the last thing I got was for me. I had been eyeing this specific little coffin tray. It's ceramic and it's all black. I've been eyeing it for quite some time. And I did tell myself when the Hippie Hollow line first came out that if this was on clearance and it was still available, I would get it when it went on 50% off sale, and that was today. So I'm really excited to know that I have this. I am always very critical of Michael's quality. Like I can even see some like air bubbles on the side. Like I don't know if I'm just type A or I don't know what the situation is. So it just makes me annoyed when I have to pay for them at full price. I mean, even discount too. Woo, okay, I'm melting. I'm gonna go pick up lunch for me and my partner, and then I'm gonna head on home. I just finished watching Wreck and I'm traumatized. It is not the first time I've seen this movie. I saw it for the first time about, probably more than 3 years ago. I remember really liking it, and I found it to be very, very effective at scaring me, but I did not remember a lot of like the nuances, and I kind of had a little bit of the ending in my head, but I forgot the reveal that really does give you way more information about what kind of subgenre of horror this is. So that was fun that I just kind of forgot all of that and I was able to re-experience this movie again. But wow, it is so suspenseful. Probably one of the most like heart racing movies I've seen in a long time. I had to like pause it every so often because I'm a little weenie, I'm a wimp. I recently rolled on my Halloween-a-thon board on the prompt where I am to read or watch something that is like a foreign film or movie, or it's like translated, one of the two. And I thought it was a good time to revisit Rec because I've been in a huge found footage era. And I didn't realize that there's actually 2 or maybe 3 sequels. And I saw that the second one did have some pretty positive reviews. So I may or may not watch that this weekend or sometime in the near future. And I think what makes me want to watch it is that there were a lot of questions that were posed to us that keep me really like intrigued on finding out the backstory for why what happened here. And it's my understanding that the other sequels go into a little bit of like backstory and then give you some stuff that's happening like contemporaneously to the first movie. Speaking of found footage and Halloween-a-thon, I did watch House LLC and I love that one too. It was so atmospheric. I swear you could like smell that building. Like you just know the mustiness combined with like the smell of fake blood and all like that like plasticky smell of like the animatronics and like the inside of a mask, of a Halloween mask, like that specific smell. All of that combined, that's what I was imagining it would be wafting through that building as you're running through it. Like it was such a good movie, very atmospheric, loved the characters and their whole like little dynamic. My only issue though is I really disliked that the format was both like documentary and found camera footage. I feel like it would have been a little bit more effective if they just chose to go one route. But that's just a personal thing. Overall, it was the perfect Halloween movie. Other than that, I've kind of been struggling on my Halloween-a-thon prompts because I'm in a huge reading slump right now. I was thinking about it earlier today, but I think I also was super slumpy this time last year because I think you just put this pressure on yourself to like find the perfect Halloween read. And I'm reading very, very specific books that have Halloween settings or a fall backdrop. And so it's a real narrow margin here for success. You would think it'd be exciting that I fell on the prompt to read a book that has a Halloween setting. And I struggled with that one. I tried out so many books to fulfill that prompt of a Halloween setting. And finally, I did get to finishing one of them, which is like Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, I think. It was a cozy mystery that sadly wasn't paranormal, but it did the job. And it was something like that I could at least finish. And I've been DNFing books like crazy right now, like so many of them. Follow me on Instagram. I share with you when I DNF stuff there, just, you know, in the moment. And it happens so frequently these days that like I can't even keep up with them unless I create like a journal spread. So yeah, call me Slumpty Dumpty because she is struggling over here trying to find that perfect Halloween read. I mean, my movie life is going pretty well, but like reading, we are struggling. In other news, I did create these really cute little boo baskets. This one is for my nephew, and this one right here is for my mom. I really love, it's always nice to know that like since my mom has given us so much Halloween magic, it's fun as an adult to return the favor, and of course just giving fun little activities to my nephew to do. Now being the arbiter of like the Halloween magic, it's kind of my role to step up. And I especially love this little slime here. It's like a little spider. I think my nephew is gonna find that hilarious. He has such a fun little sense of humor. And I don't think I've shared with you this little Nightmare Before Christmas book. They have like stickers in the back. And then it's just basically the movie, but in a little book form. My nephew loves Halloween, he loves Christmas, so it's the perfect blend of all those things for him. Good morning. I am just about to get ready, doing my face, doing my hair, because we have a little spooky adventure making our way to San Francisco to kind of do our own little bar crawl to the little Halloween pop-up bars that are in one specific area of the city. This morning, I watched The Werewolves Within, or Werewolves Within, I forget like how the specific title is. I've been wanting to get to this one for some time because I did a video, I think last November, that was all about like werewolf books, and I also was watching werewolf movies too. So it didn't make the cut last year, but I'm happy I got to it today, earlier this morning. This movie is about a park ranger who is newly relocating to this very like isolated area during the winter time. It's like very foresty and they're very secluded, and then they just have like a werewolf that somehow is attacking all of the neighbors. I would describe this movie as being very like cozy, lighthearted. I don't think I would think it's appropriate for children because of the language that they're using, but I think it's very light, scary, kind of like a not so scary horror movie. And if you just look at the cover, you kind of get the vibe that it's given off in terms of its tone. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was like a favorite, but I thought it was really fun, kind of like this closed room mystery that you're trying to solve. And when we do get the reveal about who is kind of responsible for everything behind the scenes, I don't think I saw it coming fully. I feel like I had some inkling, but I didn't find this to be very predictable. But there were other aspects of the story that I found to be kind of tropey, but none of it really like decreased my experience. And you know me, I love commentary on like gender, masculinity, femininity, those kind of things. And that does show up a little bit in here. It could have gone a little further for sure, but I think it was trying to be a little bit more mainstream, more palatable for a larger audience. In more reading news, your fellow Slumpty Dumpty has taken a turn for the better. I think, fingers crossed, I'm about 30% into Spookily Yours, which is a Halloween romance novel that I found on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm happy I didn't have to pay for anything with this one. And it's been really cute so far. And I feel like I've said that about several Halloween books these past few weeks. So I just hope I'm not like jinxing myself and this actually ends up being something that's really enjoyable. And the thing that is so cute about it is that it starts off with a witch in this very like isolated witchy town, so it's supernatural. And she's grieving the loss of her familiar, and so she just kind of finds it within herself to check out her local pet adoption agency, and she finds somebody that she really clicks with. And it's this cute little black cat that just so happens to actually be a demon that was cursed by another witch to turn into a little cat. And it's a romance novel, right? So this is not like hard-hitting prose here, but what I really look for in a romance novel personally is I believe the connection, and there is a journey that they go on together. Like there has to be something that keeps us wanting to understand what happens next. And I feel like if there's some type of problem that they're together trying to like work out how to solve that kind of puts their romance in jeopardy, then I'm there, I'm intrigued. Truly, all a romance novel has to do is just like give me the warm fuzzies and give me a nice little Halloween backdrop. This one is serving that up real good. There's also like a bakery element too, lots of mentioning of, you know, sweet treats and like those fall kind of things like pumpkin spice mochas and just all these things that make me very delighted. Speaking of which, Thomas made us candy corn mochas this morning. Oh, they're so good. Definitely give them a shot. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I didn't make it, but it looked pretty easy when I was watching him make it. You just like melt them and you add in a little bit of like cream, milk, sugar, that kind of thing. And yeah, just add coffee. The clock is ticking. I gotta go get ready. It takes time to put my face on. And I'm thinking my mood for my outfit is gonna be a little bit more like dark, gothic, with a lot of like spider motifs, a little bit of magical, definitely moody and like darker tones. So I'm gonna have fun putting that together. We are all ready and making our way to the city. I got myself all dolled up and I have a new lipstick that I'm trying out. This is actually the ColourPop Haunted Mansion line. I saw them online and I didn't realize that they were actually putting their stuff out in stores. So a few weeks ago, I did see them at my local Target and I did snag a few. This one is like a really deep purple color, which I did want for the season. I didn't have anything like this in any shade in my current makeup collection right now. And I have my little spider guy right here. He's kind of hiding under my seat belt, but you know, drive responsibly. I have a little spider theme going on. You could also see I have my spider clip in my hair, and yeah, just like a really dark, moody vibe, a little bit of like a hint of Wednesday Addams. So yeah, let's see how many we get through. There's one that we had to make reservations for, which is the first one. It is called Frankenstein's Laboratory. So we gotta run, catch our train, and see how many of these we're able actually to make it to. Oh, hello, checking in with you all on this lovely Sunday afternoon. I just got back from wedding dress shopping with my mom, and this has nothing to do with like this vlog, but I did find my wedding dress, which is very exciting, a huge relief, and it's just nice knowing that that is like ticked off my list of things to do, but I'm very, very excited about it, and yeah, it's just really exciting to see that that major step has been accomplished. The appointment to try on wedding dresses was perfectly timed with me finishing up my boo basket that I wanted to give her as early in October as possible. So I gave that to her and she loved it. And next weekend, I'm gonna be seeing my nephew, so I'll be able to give him his then. I wanna see his reaction. And she also gave me a very treasured family heirloom, I guess at this point. I don't know, not really, probably, but it was a big part of my childhood, and you could see him actually right behind me. This little cutie was a huge Halloween fixture in my family growing up. I can't remember a time where there wasn't a spooky season where he wasn't there. My mom has always been the person who did a lot of the decorating and curating of all those like spooky items, but this is one of those things where my dad actually purchased him, brought him home, and really loved putting him up every year. So it's really special. It's kind of like a little piece of him, and she has bestowed this little Dracula guy onto me. So now he's mine, and I'll play it for you so you can kind of see what he's all about. Like so 90s, early 2000s. I love him so much, and I think he'll be great right over here where I could see him very frequently. Before my wedding dress appointment with my mom, I did fulfill one of the Halloween-a-thon prompts that I rolled on yesterday, which was to watch a Disney or family-friendly movie, which is a prompt that's located in my section of the Halloween-a-thon game board. For the longest time, I have wanted to watch Coraline. I've heard so many rave reviews about this movie. I've never read the book either. The coloring and the color choices in this film were 10 out of 10. I love the whole like gray, white, black tones in the earlier part of the film, especially like making a huge contrast to the other parts of the film where things are just like pastel and bright and super colorful, and just like the imagery, everything, it is incredible. It was a really cute movie, but I do have one plot hole that I don't think was addressed in the film, and that is why the landlord allowed a family with a child to live in the house when they did know that there were like
some things wrong with it. So I don't, maybe that's like answered in the book, but overall great movie. Not like a fave, like I'm not like super obsessed with it. It hasn't become my personality, but I'm really glad I finally got to it, and it's on Tubi if you're interested in getting to it. So I'm gonna get comfortable, I'm gonna get spooky, I'm gonna do some Sunday resetting, you know, some agenda, to-do list, creating all that stuff to kind of like map out my week, get myself feeling mentally and like physically with my space ready to go with work and life. And obviously getting in some like homebody Halloween hobbies too. Things have been getting very spicy in this one. So yeah, that's very fun. I'm pretty sure I'm cursed because I cannot finish a book to save my life this fall. I decided to DNF Spookily Yours because the pacing is just so wacky, but because the backstory and the real reason why this demon was in town wasn't revealed to his love interest, the witch, until like the 75% mark, and then you have a lot of like drama happening, I was just so bored, and then I like skipped through to that section when I got to like 70%, and it was just terrible writing. I feel bad saying that because like I'm nowhere near a writer as well, but it was strange to see that there were other characters doing things that felt so out of their character, and just everything just felt so flat. The relationship between the couple in this story, the relationships with like other people, like people were mentioned, other characters existed, but they just really were not developed at all. I'll try not to be too down on myself for the fact that reading is really rough for me right now, but there's other aspects of my hobby life that are going well that I should probably highlight. Like the movies I've been watching have been really fun, super enjoyable. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try some of the sequels to Wreck because that first one was still a hit for me. Like, woo! So suspenseful. And Werewolves Within was like super cute. The more I think about that one, the more I realize like the villain that is revealed in that story is actually somebody I would root for. Yesterday I was thinking about this movie and I wish that they really would have leaned in to having us sympathize a little bit more with this villain, because to me, I feel like they had very legitimate reasons to be angry, but hey, that's just me. But also my gaming life is going pretty strong right now. I'm making my way through the Sims 4 Paranormal game pack. I have my little character, her name is Dolly Ruano. She comes with the, I think it's probably like the base game of Sims. I went a little evil and I separated her from her family because I really love her goth vibe. Like all of her outfits are just like so black, so moody, so goth. She's on her own, a little journey as a paranormal investigator. She is the one who's truly living her best life. She has a ghost boyfriend, Guidry. She has a roommate who is a vampire that she's helping out. And having a vampire in The Sims 4, which I recently just got this pack, so like it's new to me, they are vicious. Like they could drink the plasma of literally anybody and you can like compel them. I find it very, very like weirdly entertaining. And there's tons of like vampire lore that you're able to like research and investigate over time. And then apparently you could like have older vampires mentor like the newer ones. So there's a lot for me to kind of get into. But when it comes like the paranormal pack specifically, I find that there is a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of like gameplay, and I love seeing all the little ghosties. They're so cute. They're like little poltergeists, and they're up to no good all of the time. And you can give them like part of your soul. You can give them like offerings, and you could bring people back from the dead. And I'm thinking that this would pair really well with the newest pack that is going to be released on October 31st, Halloween. It's called Life and Death. So if you're like clued in to the Sims 4 world, you probably already know that they're going to be releasing this pack, but it includes like graveyards and wills and like reincarnation, rebirth. I don't think it'll be on sale for a while, but I also don't want to pay $40 for it. Until then, I will enjoy my paranormal pack, hanging out with all the ghosties in this really gorgeous Victorian mansion that I'm completely obsessed with. Like if I could just live there oh, all my dreams would come true. Okay, wish me luck with finally finishing a book because it has been a minute, and I wish you the best of luck in making the most out of your Halloween season as we're making our way through October. There's a lot to do, but truly the biggest thing on top of all of our lists here for our October plans is just to like enjoy the moment and be present. I know my reading hasn't been the best for myself right now, but again, just like thinking about the things that are going well, I think is a nice way to balance out the disappointment of things that aren't doing so hot. If you had any ideas about some like kind of autumnal, spooky, even like Halloween setting books that you think I should give a shot, definitely leave those down below in the comments below. Send me your thoughts and prayers. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.